Yo, yo, what's good? What's good? We back. We are back. Shout out to my one love, loved ones out there. Hope y'all had a great holiday and all that good stuff.
Run the city, we run the town.
uh, got a good topic today. Wait for y'all to trickle in before we get into it. I just tell him, my partner, man, said, a lot of y'all brothers talk about other men every day on this internet, and I don't hear enough talk about the ladies and what's going on with some love. So we gonna get to that and you know see what makes people operate in that love space. Man, you know what's crazy? I got one of my childhood homeboys. Man, he got like a great YouTube channel. Zo what? Zo what? I grew up with him, man. That's my guy. Just give him. I just saw him live, so I was like, okay, let me give him a shout out. Make sure y'all hit that thumbs up for me one time. I know y'all like, oh, he got a Blue Jays hat on today. Well, look, y'all know it's Dodgers all day, but this is low key like my favorite hat though. Like favorite design. I'm not a Blue Jay fan though, and it's not gang related. Make sure y'all hit that thumbs up for me while y'all come in. Today we are talking about love, race, and happiness. Ooh, that's a deviation from all the hood talk, ain't it? Love, peace, and love, race, or happiness. Which one is the biggest priority? TG Gaming, what's good? What's good? Make sure y'all do your brother a favor, man. Hit that thumbs up and subscribe. Help me get to that 100K. You know what I'm saying? We to that 100K, man. I saw an interesting. I saw a very interesting live the other day. It was a panel discussion, and there was some ladies on there, black women, and they were discussing. Hey, Malu. They were discussing relationships, and somebody on the panel said something about black men. Uh, I don't want to say prefer, but a lot of black men uh, get in relationships with other races, primarily females. And when I tell you for it to been a conversation about love, it seemed like it was a whole lot of hate going on. So it caused me to think about why that was. So y'all know me. I went and looked at the numbers. I genuinely went and looked at the numbers as it pertains to interracial relationships, marriage, divorce statistics, and so forth. And I was quite surprised. I was quite surprised. So let me see if I can get this up here. So I don't know if y'all can see that. Let me see. the numbers are to me uh, quite interesting. So it says 18% of African Americans marry someone of a different ethnicity or race. 18%. Now, you might say that's a relatively low number. Some people might be like, ooh, I didn't even know it was that high. 26% of Hispanics, newlywed men, have a spouse of a different race or ethnicity. I had a biology teacher. Years ago, I had a biology teacher named Mr. Fong at Pasadena High School. And Mr. Fong, he was a great teacher at connecting with his students. But we had this discussion one day as it pertained to race overall. And he said something that it stuck with me like pretty much my whole life. I always think about this because he said he believes that at some point the whole world will be the same color. Now, he could have meant a million years from now, or, you know, but as decades have passed now since I was in Mr. Fong's class, I see that some of what he's saying is true. Especially when you look at these numbers now. And this is in 2024. 18% of African Americans marry someone of a different ethnicity or race. Now, here's the perplexing part of that conversation. African Americans have the lowest rate of marriage. Surprisingly, followed by our Latino brothers and sisters. Now, that really surprised me um, because we have all been accustomed to our Hispanic brothers and sisters' family values. It's a culture steeped with family values and so forth. Now, that's an interesting dynamic when you start to talk about our incarcerated population, right? Our incarcerated population consists of what's the minority in prison? Well, in California, particularly. I'm normally speak from California point of view, but the statistics are there's a disproportionate amount, number of Hispanics and African Americans. You know, is this a reason as to why maybe, uh, you know, our marriage rates have dropped, you know, so much? You got to realize interracial marriage has only been legal since throughout the whole United States since 1967. It's not that long. It's not that long ago, right? Let me see if I could put a oops, I mean do that. I'm gonna put a poll up, see what y'all think. I'm really curious. So you know, I came with this idea like, what's more important, love, race, or happiness? Hmm. I'm really curious. royalty. All right, let's put this poll up. What is most important in a relationship? Make sure y'all tap in so we can get a consensus. Cause I'm curious. I am. Y'all know I'm drinking my smoothie, so I gotta stay healthy. Now, if I had to choose from one of these three, love, race, or happiness, because you have some people, they be like, oh, I'm not marrying outside my race. And they wouldn't care if they loved the other person or if they was happy, just if it satisfied the people around them. You know what I'm saying? So make sure I tap in with that poll, hit the vote. Even if you're not gonna stay for the entirety of the live, I'd like to know. Like I said, I like to get some statistical data on how you guys feel. If I had to choose, it would always be happiness. Um, like I was telling you guys, I was talking to my partner, and I told the homie, like, I've literally dated, I feel like, damn near every race or ethnic background. I've had a Latina girlfriend. I've had mixed girlfriends. In high school, my girlfriend was pretty much throughout high school. I dated the same girl. She was from Sri Lanka. Uh, I've dated a Japanese woman. Um, Now, when it comes to race, I dated a Latina girl and a Latina woman, and she was Mexican, and I thought, by all intents and purposes, we had a good thing going. And the crazy thing is, her dad became ill, and he was, you can say, on his deathbed. And he literally told this woman out of his mouth that he did not want to die knowing that his daughter was with a black man. This guy's honest truth. And she literally dumped me that night. She literally dumped me that night. I remember like it was yesterday. She was crying. She came out to the hallway. But to some people, you have to understand that what their family thinks of them and all these other things, because in some cultures you have arranged marriages, right? 9 times out of 10, if not 10 out of 10, arranged marriage is always going to be between two people of the same ethnic background, right? So I was messing around looking at these statistics earlier, and let me get to this. We don't want to see two of me. So, Native Americans have the highest interracial marriage rate amongst all single race groups. 61% of Native American female newlyweds marry outside their race. That's a high number, right? Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, well, see, you got a good example there. In the comments, somebody said that's why Young Jeezy bounced. Yeah, I will always choose happiness. Like, who is anybody to tell someone else what makes them? If you meet somebody and they make you feel like no other person has ever made you feel, are you gonna say, nah, I'm gonna pass on this person, but I'd rather settle for somebody that's doing a halfway decent job, but they're of my own skin color? I, that may be the reason why only 33% of African Americans are married. Most people now cohabitate. Now, mind you, I am a believer of polygamy. Uh, I I don't think that's for everybody, but I believe in some instances. So let's say you're in a polygamous relationship and you have wives of different ethnic backgrounds and or races, right? Um, what's the argument there? If everyone's happy, but because isn't that the ultimate goal is to live a happy life? So you'd rather force the issue again. People, and I think a lot of people can look back and be like, "Damn, I bypassed some good opportunities for a solid relationship with certain individuals. If I had that to do over again, I might have done it a little bit differently, right?" It's possible. I have yet, how can I put this? If it's a group of white women and they're discussing one of their friends or brothers or whoever, ex husbands, ex boyfriends, oh yeah, Johnny started dating this sister, right? I can only imagine how that conversation is gonna go. I'm not really privy to those conversations, right? As a black man, I don't get to sit around those type of conversations. But I do know how those conversations go when it's a group of black women and it's a brother. Primarily, it's a brother, and this is where it's tricky. If a brother goes and dates a white sister, I mean a white girl, he gonna get, look. They gonna talk all kind of mess. Oh, he wants a submissive woman. He doesn't want a strong woman. And I heard an interesting conversation about that. And if you're into the Bible and religion, which a lot of people like to bring up the Bible when it suits their argument, right? uh, but a lot of black women ain't gonna, if they talking about, oh, we don't, they want a submissive woman and somebody that, in the Bible the wife is to be submissive to her husband. Oh, somebody done came by. 50 is on the loose. Hold on. So if that's the argument that a man wants a submissive woman, I thought that that was the role that was to be played. Let me see the comments. Being submissive doesn't make you weak. Right. 100%. 100%. And you guys know, I've had this conversation with a few of y'all behind the scenes, and I've told y'all that, like, in certain instances, it's also okay for the man to defer to the woman if she has a more accurate knowledge on the topic that's being entertained, right? And and I think when people think of or hear being submissive, they look at it as like you got to walk around on your hands and knees, and he got to a collar with a leash on it, and no, that's not what that is. I believe like this. Somebody told me a long time ago, if there was certain rules to a successful marriage and or relationship. You never yell unless it's a fire in the house. And number two, if you have an opportunity to make yourself or your mate look better, you always choose your mate. It seems pretty simple and pretty straightforward. Nobody likes to be embarrassed in front of others and talked down to. And I look, some of these sisters made some good arguments the other night in this content I was watching, and they were having this discussion. And the discussion was not about interracial relationships. It just happened to go there. You know, that's where it just happened to end up, was interracial relationships. And the anger in which these black women were talking about black men dating outside their race was alarming. It really was alarming. And for this reason, I don't think any man, and I mean this, I mean, there are some, but most men just want somebody that makes them feel good. And when I say good, I mean, if they have ambitions and dreams, that person is there to motivate them. And vice versa. If your woman has ambitions and dreams, you should be wholeheartedly behind her or on the side of her, and sometimes in the front of her, to knock down them doors to make her ambitions and dreams come true. But I heard an interesting take from a gentleman that was on this panel the other day. I cannot remember his name for the life of me. But he said that in the case of a lot of black women, they talk to black men like they're their mama. To me, that's almost most of the issue. You know, you talking to your mate as if they're dumb, immature, a child. That probably shouldn't be the person for you, regardless of what color they are. And let me tell you, okay, it's three choices up there. You got love. What's important is he doesn't steal. Charbel said, "What's up with all this yapping?" It's just what go on YouTube. A lot of yapping. So welcome to my channel. Make sure you hit a thumbs up, subscribe for me. Yeah, that's what most of the people doing on YouTube is yapping. Get your vote in. Make sure you get your vote in, homie. I'm a firm believer. Do whatever works for you. If you somebody that wants to have 3, 4 wives and it work for all of y'all, hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I had great examples of healthy, loving, committed relationships growing up. My Aunt Patsy and my Uncle Leon were married for damn near 80 years, if not more than 80. She passed away at 99. My Uncle Leon was 97. And the way they loved on each other, the way he respected her, and the way she doted and loved on him, even after he lost his eyesight, was a beautiful example of a lifelong commitment. Now, when you get in marriage, I've seen this happen recently. Some close friends of mine, Christian folk, and this is a white couple, 4 kids, from outward appearances, it was a loving family. Out of nowhere, He left after 20 plus years of marriage. His conversations, was it the changes in physical appearance? Like, what constitutes a lifelong commitment at this point? What's your at Dopest TV? LaSaint said, I love you, Sandra. He said, talk to your chat. They got their own love affair. Where do I fit in? Let me scroll up. Bro, you are so inspirational. Say my full name to get my vote. Okay. Appreciate y'all, man. Yes, I do. I appreciate y'all. Hit that thumbs up for me. We got 6 votes and 3 likes. So I don't see how that makes sense. But okay. What are y'all thoughts? Let me know in the comments. What are y'all thoughts? Love, race, or happiness? I don't think race matters. So I kind of almost want to exclude that. Now, love is crucial. But love cannot be the only determining factor on why you would be with someone. It can't be. Because you could love someone and they not make you happy. We all know that, right? At this point, we've all loved somebody. If you're an adult and have had more than maybe 1 or 2 relationships, your first love, your puppy love, your puppy love made you happy at first, right? Your first love. And then as reality sets in, it ain't all of what it was. You might love them, but they don't love you. You might love them, but they're not trustworthy, right? So with all those things being said, I'm gonna have to exclude love, race. I think with happiness, all that comes. You get the love. When you're happy, it's 9 times out of 10 because you be in love, right? I think your happiness is the most important factor when it comes to a relationship. I'm a firm believer if you're not happy, ain't no point in waiting and sitting around and trying to, stick a square peg into a round hole. It just ain't gonna work. And the numbers bear proof of that. And I'm gonna be honest, I really don't. I keep telling y'all, we live in a world of trolls. So I feel like even when it comes to relationships, people is trolling their own relationships. Like, for real, for real. Nobody wants to talk about love. Everybody wants to talk about hate. I've seen relationships that were successful where it seemed like, damn, this couple, all they do is argue. It's the way they communicate, and they okay with it. You know what I'm saying? They might talk a little smack to each other. They okay with it. I feel like when it comes to relationships, do what works for you. If you and this will go back on the about black women. They see a black dude date a white woman, they be in an uproar. They see a black woman date a white dude, the conversation's a little bit different. It goes a little bit more like this. Well, I don't know. I've never dated a white one. I've never thought about it. It's not the same energy, though. I'm going to tell you, it's not the same energy they have when they see a black man, somebody that they potentially could have had, and you see it on the shade room. Let them put a picture up of interracial couple, you know who get a lot of flack about the people that he hangs around is Bobby Shmurda. Man, Bobby Shmurda came home from prison, and instead of, he still he got his boys, right? But he surrounded himself by a team of other folks. And every time Bobby Shmurda takes a picture with a white woman, it's like all hell done broke loose. He kept doing it. And now they don't seem to mind as much. Right? But every time you see Bobby Shmurda, he's smiling. So how could you be mad at somebody that's happy? At this point, we all know if y'all do a what's it called? Genealogy and find out your ancestry. What's the name of the site, y'all? Ancestry something. If y'all do that, most of y'all will find out that you not as much of what you thought you were. Meaning that you probably have some Caucasoid or Caucasian blood in you, some Native American. Some of y'all might find out you got a little Pakistani in your DNA. It's the truth. All this, I'm black, I'm this, I'm that, you really don't know. Let me give you an example. And I hope y'all hear me on this because this is real. This is real. And you're going to have a lot of people, oh no, I'm black. Listen here. We know from which and how a lot of black people, Africans, came to this country and the subsequent struggles that they had thereafter. So we know from that there's a lot of, and involuntary, let's say that, mixed kids. Right? They were birthed from some type of slavery situation and or the R word. Right? Fast forward a little bit though. You had a lot of male and female black people that during the Jim Crow era, where it wasn't publicly acceptable for interracial couples to walk freely in society, that these relationships were hidden. But as a product of these relationships, there were also children. So and quite honestly, some of those children were raised by and in a lot of instances, the father did know that the wife cheated, right? People weren't doing that. It wasn't no Maury Povich going on back there with paternity results and all that. There's a lot of people out here that honestly, they don't know their family. Their family tree ain't what they think it is. It's just the quite honest truth. And you looking at your family tree, and let's say this. Let's say it wasn't interracial. But back in the day, people were adulterers and they cheated on their spouse. A lot of these people had kids on their husband. Some of the husbands had kids outside of their marriage. And these people either weren't claimed as theirs or they were told that they were the child of someone else. Can't be an accurate family tree then, right? There's no way you can have an accurate family tree and You do not know the paternity or maternity in some cases of all the children on them branches of that tree. It's just a fact. I hear a lot of people. I hear the trick daddies and a lot of other people now. They say I'm American. They don't even associate themselves with being African in no way. I was born here. This where I'm from, and so forth and so on. But a lot of y'all have mixed heritage and y'all just don't even know it. You just don't even know it. But interracial marriage, as well as obviously interracial relationships, uh, are. Let me get the numbers exactly on interracial marriages. And I mean, I really don't understand what people's let me see, 20% of African American Caucasian couples divorce compared to 13.5% of Hispanic Caucasian. The U.S. interracial marriage statistics show that 10% of the population are currently so 11 million people in the U.S., of which 10% of the population are current. So you do the math. That's 1.1 million, right? Interracial or mixed race unions. 22% of Americans believe that multiracial kids are good for society. You know what's crazy? I There's a lot. If I don't, and I'm speaking for my black towards my black women, I guess I hear more outrage, and maybe it's because maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I could be wrong. Maybe y'all let me know. But doesn't it seem like it's more outrage with interracial relationships as opposed to same sex relationships? Or no? Because, when you hear people say, oh, yeah, that's their business, whatever floats they boat, let them do what they do. But when it comes to interracial relationships, the conversation is way more detailed right off the top. Nah, that's because they don't like who they are. Why does it have to be all that? Why couldn't it just be as simple as, man, I met somebody and they make me happy? Because again, like I said, my first wife it was a black woman, right? Is a black woman. She's still black. And for whatever reasons, it didn't work out. I would have never blamed that on her race. Oh, she black. She is strong because she a strong sister, strong willed, strong minded. Uh, but I would have never blamed it on her race. I think it's just a societal thing where people just want to be mad at something. And the same thing with this YouTube, right? So if I go live a little bit later and I'm talking down on another black man, the views is sky high. Because it's hate, right? Talking, you know, from a negative space, right? But when you get on here talking about love, people tend to shy away from that. Yeah, when you talking about love and happiness, and I'm gonna say this again. I don't think race should be a determining factor in a relationship at all. I think sometimes it tends to maybe work too, regardless if it's black or white or black and Indian or white and Cambodian, like whatever the mix may be. Sometimes to me the cultural differences is what creates the spark within that relationship. Because they say opposites attract. Isn't that what they say? Somebody came up with that from somewhere. They say opposites attract. I think sometimes learning something new, meeting something new that's different than you is intriguing. So maybe that's why you may venture down that road. And a lot of times it doesn't work out. Again, marital statistics are considerably down, and are still on a downward trend. Most people now cohabitate. They live together. You have a lot of people that don't honor the constitution of marriage, meaning that they don't believe that a piece of paper or a ceremony is what makes your relationship real. I can understand that argument as well. What argument I can't understand though is turning away your happiness strictly based on the other person's skin color, right? Like I just can't see that. And then you turn around and you in a shitty relationship soon thereafter with somebody of your own skin color, and you crying and complaining about, oh, it's a, what's crazy? They always say it's a lack of good men. I hear women say that all the time. It depends on what you call good. Because nowadays everybody want everybody to have everything in place before they even embark on a relationship. When sometimes I always thought it was special when a relationship, you guys work together to accomplish something special. Now, if you both already have things lined up, I'm sure that'll be a lot easier to transition. But money don't buy happiness. Of course, it makes things a lot easier. I will agree on that. Less stress, right? But I think y'all got to start looking at people for what they are and who they are and how they represent themselves, as opposed to, uh, uh, he got blonde hair or she got blue eyes, or uh, they hair is a little bit more coarse and kinky. You know what I mean? Because in reality, with these wigs and some of the stuff y'all doing, it's like y'all trying to be another color anyway. Let's just keep it a beam. Let's just keep it a beam. With the blonde wigs and some of y'all changing your eye color and some of y'all. So I don't think, and that's cool. I mean, shit, I ain't got no problem with that. But I just, you can't it can't be a double standard. Can't be a double standard. I was watching a show last night, and I saw a girl with a woman with her makeup off, and she was literally 4 to 5 shades darker with her makeup on. I mean, off than she was with it on. So nobody's, the crazy part is nobody's putting makeup on themselves to make themselves look darker. Yeah, you got white people that like to tan, so they have a darker complexion, right? And some of them do spray paint it on, so I ain't gonna lie. Maybe you can't consider that makeup because they do spray paint that shit all over themselves. But also, if you look at the majority of black women that cake that makeup on themselves, they become 2, 3 shades lighter. And these are the same women I see get on Shade Room and talk bad on Serena Williams. The same ones I see go on and talk about Serena Williams, man. But anyway, I thought this was interesting. I wanted to know other people's take on this. Um, Even down political party lines, the Democrats believe interracial relationships are good for society. I guess because they feel like it it's gonna cut down maybe on some people. Always gonna have find a reason to differentiate themselves from other people, right? What? You want to sit on the throne, you'll have to sit on my lap. Okay, well, this just took a weird turn. With that being said, drop in the comments what you guys think. Love, race, happiness. Which one is the biggest, or which one do you consider a priority in a relationship? If y'all say happiness, y'all really have to evaluate if that's true. Because if you've been around somebody that doesn't fall into your typical stereotype of what you consider a mate, potential mate, then I think you need to, reevaluate if happiness is really your biggest priority. You know what I mean? I'm going to be honest. Again, you can love something that doesn't make you happy. You can love something or someone that doesn't make you happy in any sense of the word. Just you sit there loving on that person, waiting on them to turn it around. Oh, they're gonna change. You know, we all been through that, right? I just think happiness is something that you can't turn your back on, uh, no matter what the color. If they make you happy, um, then live a happy life, and don't worry about what people got to say. Everybody worried about what somebody out got to say and the pressures on from the family and friends, and I'm gonna go against the grain anyway. If to be honest, you know. But I love my sisters. Uh, I just really never been that type of dude, to be honest, and that's just me. I'm an individual. Don't hate me for it. But if a woman makes me happy, I'm not looking at what size she is. I don't care if she a BBW. I really don't do real skinny. But, you know, if a real skinny chick made me happy, I wouldn't turn it away. Cause that's what we strive for, is to be happy and live a long, happy life. So that's my thought. I thought I'd jump on here, had this discussion with y'all, see who had to say what. But continue to let me know what y'all think in the comments once the video posts. I'll be back on later, man, to talk about some of the regular schmegular stuff that y'all like to talk about. But I wanted to go in depth on this a little bit because I saw the numbers on this and I was surprised. I mean, I wasn't surprised that black uh black people have the lowest percentage of marriage, the lowest rate of marriage. Uh, I wasn't really surprised by that. I was really taken aback that the Latino population has the second lowest. I was really surprised. And while the Asian community, and I guess that could be expected, it's cultural, uh, you know, guidelines and different cultural backgrounds, I guess. Nowadays, like I said, most black folks, they not getting married. They cohabitating. They living together. Back in the day, what people call playing house, right? And I'm sure some of the women telling they men at home that you just want to keep playing house and you don't want to put a ring on it. So I think out of those three on the board, man, I think race has the least importance, to be honest, if any, and love would be the second least out of those three. And I would say happiness by far to me is the most important thing to prioritize and who you have a relationship with. But I'm gonna tap back in like an hour. We gonna talk about some of this other stuff that's going on. Uh, Particularly, and I just feel like talking about women for one day, okay? Because there's so much of this man on man, alpha thing going on, but we gonna discuss it. I'll be back on in about an hour. Y'all tap in. Make sure y'all share the live for me. Hit that thumbs up. Drop a comment. Y'all know the slogan, man. It's one love or no love. Nobody told you they love you. You have value, importance, and worth. King Dope has said it, and I stand on that. Until next time, y'all. One love.
We run the team.